The problem in Africa is that our people who come into positions of power love to look like they have luxury before they own the means to create luxury. When given an option between a Baki or a BMW M3, many will choose the M3. Given an option between a fertile piece of land and an apartment in Sandton, many will choose an apartment. Look at organizations like SACP. They love luxury. Organizations like Nahawu, COSATU, and the like. They travel the country going to see places, going to game resorts, going to hotels and various places for things like Congress and team building, instead of making sure they utilize their members' contributions to purchase or build things that will significantly improve their members' lives. These are organizations that get millions of rands in contributions, but instead of buying up buildings, instead of buying shares in good companies, instead of owning lands and farms, they spend those contributions on renting buildings to complain from. Imagine paying millions to host events and rent audio-visual equipment instead of buying and maintaining their own conference halls, and they can even rent them out to others and make money from them. Their message is, the people that own those buildings and those companies are bad. Yet they spend some of their members' contributions on those same buildings and companies while they themselves could own those buildings but choose to rent. Do you remember that SACP actually got money from VBS? Do you remember what the money was used to pay for? They took 3 million rand from VBS not to make a change in the lives of their members, but rather to pay for a bill that the SACP owed to Birchwood Hotel for holding a 6-day 14th National Congress. 3 million rands for a 6-day Congress. In just 6 days, 3 million rands gone, and there's nothing to show for it except a Congress. A Congress, guys. What happens at that National Congress? Are there plans made on what's the next school we are building? Are there plans made on who will make up the next batch of our high performers that we are going to give bursaries to ensure that they get formal higher education? No. Just yap, all 6 days.
Announced to Congress that the gravesite of our former General Secretary, the late Comrade Krizani, has been declared a national monument. This is a great victory. Now every South African can visit that gravesite and interface with Comrade Chris and the life of our party, because he represents that symbol of the life of our party and commitment to the working class, revolutionary working class struggle. Therefore, we want to thank our government for making this declaration. In particular, we want to thank Comrade Dumankosi, a member of our party and our movement, who, when he was the mayor, we engaged with him and ousted him for this process, and he initiated the process. And equally, we want to thank Comrade Mondli Gungubele, who further made sure that this thing became a reality. Today, we now have a monument, and we hope that the city of Ekurhuleni will take care of that monument. And our communists in Gauteng and elsewhere, particularly in Ekurhuleni district, Opa Pasha district, must also take care of that monument of our General Secretary. It's a monument of socialism. Contribution of struggle towards socialism.
Now, since they love to sleep in hotels and have these conferences, why didn't they at least get a loan to buy or build their own hotel and conferencing center for their many meetings? Oh, but that would mean they need to maintain that place and keep it up to standard themselves. And that is not their cup of tea. They would rather book, sit back and relax in air-conditioned rooms and be served by others in hotels and centers that are maintained by others, never them. Basically, they like giving money to white-owned establishments where they are served by poor waiters and waitresses. Meanwhile, the message to you is, we are here to set our people free. And then the poor person among us signs up for a membership to SACP or ANC to pay a monthly or annual contribution, and the cycle continues on and on and on. SACP, NEHAWU, COSATU, all of them could have been buying shares in companies within South Africa. I mean, they love to complain about companies, but they could easily buy shares from those companies and, as shareholders, raise the salaries of their members employed in those companies, since they believe the companies are shortchanging them, right? These are the kind of people who complain about the JSE not having enough black representation, and yet they are not buying up shares to get that representation. They are not establishing their own means of production. Why don't they do it? Because they are too busy indulging in luxury. They love flying around the country, being in hotels, being served and driving around in fancy cars. They love to look like they have luxury before they own the means to create luxury. They keep telling our people that they are being economically oppressed, but they are not taking any meaningful action to improve the lives of their members economically. No education and training of your members for them to start their own businesses. No empowerment to stand on their own as employers. Nope. All they do is spend money on luxuries while doing and encouraging workers to revolt against their employers. Is that their weapon for so-called economic emancipation? Fight against your employer for a 5, 7, or 10% salary increase every year, and for sure you will be economically emancipated. That's what these union leaders and members believe will bring economic success for their members? Really?
The biggest myth about labor unions is that unions are for the workers. Unions are for unions, just as corporations are for corporations and politicians are for politicians. To unions, workers are just the raw material used to create union power, just as iron ore is the raw material used by U.S. Steel and bauxite is the raw material used by the Aluminum Company of America. The most fundamental fact about labor unions is that they do not create any wealth. They are one of a growing number of institutions which specialize in siphoning off wealth created by others, whether those others are businesses or the taxpayers.
The Solidarity movement came to the conclusion that their heritage and culture were being attacked and they had a desire to protect them. Did they go for team buildings across the nation using members' contributions? Did they merely gather their members to doy against the black political elite that they feel attacked by? No, they took clear action that is evidently improving the lives of their members. People are contributing money, and that money seems to be used to effect real change. They already have a 12-year-old higher education institution called Academia, and they're in the process of building a 3 billion rand Afrikaans university. They view the laws as being against them, but instead of just doing and having conferences talking about the issues all day, they have decided to build things to protect their heritage and their identity. Love them or hate them, they are using their money to build, and that is something we all can do. If this video is to your liking, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share this video with other citizens, and remember to beware of the comrades. Yes, it can be argued that contributions made to the Solidarity movement are more than those made to SACP, but with the little contributions that SACP has received, what can they point to and say this is what we have built with your contributions? A creche, an internet cafe that will enable poor people to do free courses online, create their CVs and apply for jobs? What are some of the things they have built for their members and those they represent? What? Organizations such as SACP have come to the conclusion that our people are being oppressed economically. Why are they not using the money they receive to empower our people? To establish companies to empower the people, giving them tools that will help them thrive in the harsh economic markets? Why are they not? By now, they could have established communal farms where they can practice what they preach. Since they want communism, they should start companies where everyone in that company has a say. From the security guard to the project manager, from the accountant to the packer, from the architect to the driver and the bricklayer. Everyone should be paid equally, and they all should have a voice on how to run the company in line with communism. In fact, within the SACP, there should be no leader. Why can't they do that in order to show that their communism is possible and will succeed? It is obvious these organizations are great at talking and deceiving, but they are not driven or determined to make real-life changes in the lives of their members and supporters. Their minds are not focused on building. They are not thinking in a constructive way. They are always thinking politics. Communism is all they have. If the SACP and the others were sincere, whatever gap they see in the lives of our people, they would use the money they have to close those gaps. Not with rioting and shouting, but with tangible resources and institutions. Instead, these people get funding and use the money to pay each other high salaries and then use the rest for rent, hotels, t-shirts, conferences, gazebos, and so on. I mean, make it make sense.
I want us to build a school, not a political education school. We must build a school that is owned by the EFF. A private school, and it must be judged with the same standards as Crawford and that one that Vian went to, Curo, Vian, St. Davis, all of them. We are going to build a school in this next 5 years. We are going to build a school. And we are going to hire highly qualified teachers. And the children are going to go to that school for free of charge. And they are going to be children of poor people. Their mothers, they should be children of those who don't have parents as priority, or their parents are dying of HIV and AIDS and related diseases. We must go and take the poorest of the poor. Our leaders, I don't understand why Patrice Motsepe does not have a school. I don't understand why Robert Gumede does not have a school. I don't understand why Sisa Ngebulan does not have a school. But they have all nice things that are so expensive, showing and giving us evidence that these people can build a successful school. Why is Ramaphosa not having Shanduka High School, paid with the money of Shanduka? So we want to lead this. Let us build a school that is going to be attended by children of the poor families, the poor of the poorest, from all over South Africa. In the next 5 years, when we come back here, if we have not built that school, don't elect any of us in front here. We are useless. It means we don't know what we want.
The EFF promised to make sure they build a school for the poor. They know very well that building a school would be a good thing to show people that they are spending their money for good. If they had built that school and built a quality school, that would have been an amazing achievement for the EFF and very beneficial for poor people. But as we all know, they still have not managed to achieve even that, and they have been making up stories at every turn. They will easily doi-doi, sing and shout, but ask them to build something significant? Dololo. They are getting money from their members, their supporters and donors, and yet they are failing to do anything tangible, especially building that school they promised. Why have they failed to achieve this goal? Because like many of our people who are new to power, they love to look like they have luxury before they own the means to create luxury. The communists love luxury, but they rarely make sure to spend loads of money on things that benefit many. They claim to want equality for all, but their actions show a desire for luxury for themselves, even at the expense of those they claim to be in positions of power for. The same applies to the ANC. These are parties that simply lack the drive to achieve great things for people apart from themselves. All these communists lack ambition for the citizens. The ANC, EFF, SACP, Nahau, NUMSA, whatever they are like that. All of them. As long as they are in luxury, they're happy and forget about you. They shout about how they want to give you economic emancipation and other things, but their actions show you what they really want. My hope is that you see their actions and actually believe them. They like using the power of creating laws to take rights, power, and property away from citizens, but they lack the will, drive, or honor to work hard to create the same standard of work as they found in place. When organizations like AfriForum distance themselves from this incompetence, these leaders crank us up to believe that AfriForum is doing it because of racism only, never because of the leaders' failings. Get angry all you want. We are the fools. We are the ones who keep voting for these idiots. While the SACP, ANC, EFF are led by stupid and selfish people, the truth is we are the stupid ones for electing them. I mean, how amazing is it that we elect parties like the ANC, parties that can't manage to keep their finances in order, yet we expect them to manage the finances of the country well. We're playing, guys. Let's wake up, South Africa. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm Katlego. This is Citizen Concerned. And until next time, beware of the comrades.